90% of baby formula in the U.S. From U.S. factories, and instead of them taking the melamine out, they just said melamine is no longer bad for you. Mercury is no longer bad. Melamine's no longer bad. Lead is no longer bad. Jumping off a cliff, I guess, is no longer bad according to the government. And now I have Fox News. This is coming up after calls in my stack. Give me a close shot for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. Can cell phones cure Alzheimer's? And it says cell phones are good for your brain. Yes, it's radiating your brain, but it's good for you. Cell phones are good. Body scanners are good. Mercury is good for your brain. Pretty soon they'll say shooting yourself in the head with a 12-gauge shotgun is good for you. Folks, if they start saying that, don't try it. It will kill you. They are practicing insanity, practicing lying to get you conditioned to accept it. That's how they claim they killed Khalid Sheikh Mohammed more than 10 times before they captured him. Then they held him for 7 years. He confessed to bombing buildings that weren't built for close to 4 years after he was arrested. That's like confessing to sinking the Titanic before he was born. But the media still says, never retracted, he was killed all those times, and he was captured, and he's confessed to bombing buildings that didn't exist. And they did this over and over again with Chemical Ali and all of them to just set the precedent of doing whatever they want. Because they know the general public is passively watching TV, passively reading the newspaper headlines, and just hear a guy tried to blow up a plane again. Oh, this guy confessed. Oh, they're going to put him on trial, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, after 7 years of incarceration and admitted torture. Folks, if they grab me for a year and then roll me out on TV saying I committed murders or bombings, and they admit I was tortured or you were tortured, it's not admissible. All Americans knew in the war with North Korea, hundreds and hundreds of pilots got shot down. And after a couple years of captivity, the North Koreans would release on worldwide television through the Soviets, through the Chinese and Russians, film footage of our airmen saying, I am a war criminal. I was told to target women and children. I was told to target civilian bases, which wasn't true in the Korean War. And they would, the famous cases of blinking Morse code, that's not just a Hollywood movie. They blinked Morse code saying torture, 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 torture. Same thing in Vietnam. They'd roll our troops out after years of torture. They would confess to anything. Americans knew a country that tortures, you don't believe anyone they bring up on trial. What happened to us? How did we turn into demons? Well, we didn't turn into demons. The government said we like torture, said we like torture of children in front of their parents, to try to sell us on it. So that's coming up with a bunch of other news. But who's up next here? Ronnie in Texas, or did I already go to him? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, Mike in Chicago. Mike, you're on the air.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I'm listening to you on the body scanner stuff, and one of the things that scares me every time I see the report on the news is that they keep mentioning that he paid for his ticket with cash.
Yeah, cash is evil, and they had body scanners there, but he wasn't put through them. He was let onto the plane.
Right, and so, I think the body scanners, I don't know, sometimes I wonder what's a distraction. Not that they're a distraction, not that they're inconsequential, but are they a distraction from the real ultimate goal, which is to basically eliminate cash?
Well, sir, they've got ads in newspapers I've seen for more than a decade, and TV ads and magazine ads saying cash is dirty, cash is bad. During the swine flu, the feds did that. They want everything digital to destroy underground economies and further bankrupt people. And I agree with you, but body scanners aren't a distraction from the health care bill because they've already pretty much got that as a done deal. Though this is a big deal getting us to submit to body scanning.
Well, I don't disagree, and that's what I mean. I think that's one of the steps in taking away your cash later. Would you like the body scanner to go away? Well, we've solved the problem. Nobody's using cash. I don't necessarily mean that this isn't consequential. Again, is it just is it just one step in the ultimate goal of, I mean, the cashless society scares me more than anything in terms of control. I mean, second only maybe to healthcare.
And notice how all the businesses are being pressured and all the government employees and corporate employees to take automatic transfer, to do automatic payments, to only use a card. I agree with you, Michael. Thanks for the call. I got confused by Michael in Illinois and Michael in Chicago. Michael in Chicago is coming up. Joe in Texas, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Alex, first off, in the words of Native American Indians, thank you for being a true human being. And my second was like, I thought I was seeing things yesterday morning between 8 and 9. I had the volume down and watching Fox, and they showed that from what I saw on the body scan, they showed it looked to me like it's not just the booth you go into, but it looked to me like a scanner that you can see the whole body basically.
Sir,
without
yes, they phase it in. 5 airports, last time I read it in CBS, have passive body scanners. First, under your ticket, they put you through a body scanner that records a 360 biometric scan. Then they've got passive scanners in the airports that once you've been scanned, from then on out, it's in a database that know your entire body. So they look through your clothes with what they call a passive scanner and scan you. They also, 5 airports, and the same reports I saw years ago, they have brain scanners that, quote, pick up anger, brain waves that show agitation. All quackery, all fraud, not real science. Hundreds of thousands of people conservatively, the government's now admitted this, that's why they don't use lie detectors anymore in court or in court proceedings. They would just lie and say a lie detector showed you were guilty even when you said you weren't, and later it would come out you were innocent. That's quackery. So they've just moved on to new baloney. Yes, we've written articles at prisonplanet.com and Infowars.com on body scanners. Steve Watson had one up yesterday that had the images from the news of the passive scanners. Once they scan you in the airport, it's assigned to your name, and major cities have already put body scanners in. Do you understand? This is a total grid.
Yes, sir. And the other thing regarding the homeschooling, I know, Alex, you have it documented that homeschoolers, in other words, like if they're doing 3rd grade, I have 2 nieces that are homeschooled, and if they're 3rd grade, they're doing 5th grade education level schoolwork, and also excellent consulting you do at Jesse. I saw the mind control, and it's very, very scary, and I see things advancing just so fast, Alex. But thank you for Prison Planet and InfoWars, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate your call. Let's jam in one more here quickly. Let's talk to Ronnie in Texas. Ronnie, you're on the air.
Thank you, sir. Celebrate the year 2010 as the first year of the 2 Drs. Paul in the U.S. legislature with the exploding campaign in the Congress. Soon to be U.S. Senator from Kentucky, Rand Paul, 2010.com. And I'm still, by the way, under only temporary cancellation of my First Amendment right for freedom to express political ideas.
That's right. I did see that in the paper. You've been banned from wearing any messages on your shirt at Travis County Commissioner's Court.
And they won't let me show my sign at all. It's basically, the Ron Paul sign or anything.
Everyone should show up during Citizens Communications next week. What is it, Monday or Tuesdays?
They're Tuesday at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, same as it was 10 years ago, and I used to have time to go down there. Everybody should be down there for Citizens Communications with their own Ron Paul shirts or their own Infowars.com shirts. Imagine them saying no one's allowed to, and you should also go videotape other people that'll have Budweiser or Ford or Chevy or Buckmaster on their shirt and sue them for discrimination.
Well, the biggest thing is the city council. At least I can get into the Travis County Commissioner's Court, but the city council, I'm still 1 in every 4 meetings. That's my suspension. They choose to allow me to have my First Amendment right 25% of the time at best. If I happen to get in,
and that's how they phase it in. Soon it'll be nothing. I appreciate your call. Yeah, there's a caller there. All over the country, they're just getting rid of Citizens Communications. They're shutting down Access TV. They're moving in because if you're a criminal in government and you've got police that'll do whatever they're told, you've got the people by the short hairs.